happening so I can get you back on.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yes, you and her
It's gonna be
both.
amazing.
Yes, you and her
Yeah.
both. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Well, you
Yeah.
brought up my book, Reality Check, A Survivor Story. We dropped the first release in June of 2018, and so
Hmm.
I decided to re-release my book,
Hmm.
Reality Check. I decided to
Hmm.
re-release it because I realized that there was some reading the story. If you read the first version of Reality Check, then it was definitely a complete story. But I left out a lot of um, scenes, or several scenes in there that were very intimate and very passionate. But
Hmm.
I wanted to put those scenes back in the book. So I decided to release Reality Check again. We did name it Book One because I have already written the follow-up books. So this is going to be
Awesome.
book one, and I've already written book two and book three. And the Reality Check is a survivor story. And I wanted to make sure that you were one of the first ones to read it. And so you got the very first copy. So,
Yeah, I was passed. Yeah. Yeah.
have you been reading it, and what do you think?
I have been reading it, and I will tell you this: it is a must. It's a must read. First of all, and it grabs you as soon as you start reading. It just automatically brings you into the story. Like if you could close your eyes and just kind of imagine what's going on as you're reading, it paints a picture, and you really come into your thoughts and the way that you express what was going on and feelings and emotions and it really jumps out at you and grabs you. So I would tell anybody, and I'm just halfway through it, and I can tell you, and I can't wait to finish it up. But if you have an opportunity to get the book one, please do. And if you got it and you hadn't read it in a long time, get the updated version of it, because I tell you what you felt like you got the first time around you read it is nothing like reading it this time in what I would call in its completeness. So
That's it.
you really put the period to, what I'm saying, that particular version of book one, and I can tell you it's gonna make people want to read two and three. You won't have any problems whatsoever promoting or selling the fact that, hey, you need to get the book. No, you ain't got to worry about it. You're gonna be knocking down your inbox and your Amazon, and they're coming to get it because you were real and you were candid and you were open. And
Yeah.
those things and those qualities are things that really people want to learn something about you. You poured your heart and your spirit out in this book. And I imagine you did the same thing in two and three. And for that, you know what I'm saying, that takes a lot. It's brave, you know what I'm saying, and courageous. And for that, you know what I'm saying, the fruits of your labor you will see,
Yeah.
because you poured 110%, you know what I'm saying, into this particular book. So congratulations, first of all. And then
Thank you.
second of all, be very proud of being able to be open and candid and really dealing with your emotions and what you were feeling, and really including all the nuts and the bolts and the pieces and the meat, all of that. I mean, you really gave a complete look in this particular story that I'm reading, and it's amazing. I can tell you that my gambit of emotions, even as a man, I got emotions too,
Yeah.
and I can tell you it really tears at the heart, but it's real. And to know that, a survivor, you know what I'm saying, you really put the stamp on that, you know what I'm saying, and your testimony is real, and somebody needed to hear that and they needed to see it. And it's just amazing that you were courageous and you put that out there. So be very, very proud of
Thank
what
you.
you have done with this and this series that you're presenting.
Thank you. Well, I decided to release it during April. April 1st was my goal, but I think it came out on the 2nd, so I reached the goal. I wanted to release it in April because April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and the book is about
Mm.
a sexual assault survivor. I know a lot of people have asked me, well, why didn't you just write your biography instead of writing a fiction book and giving your experiences to characters? Um, and I know that when I first started trying to write my book, talking about myself, it was a little hard. So I decided to write Reality Check, a survivor story, and let people know that these are true life experiences that I have given to phenomenal characters. And I've given my experiences to different characters. So the characters are not just it's not just one character who is sharing some of my experiences. It's several characters in the book that are sharing my experiences. So I really appreciate that. I did put a lot into it, and I'm looking forward to the project that I'm working on now, which is very personal. It's not fiction. It's going to be nonfiction. It's going to be real, very, very, very deep. Um, and I think it will fit very well with the series for entertainment purposes, but just for awareness as well. So, did you have any questions so far while you're reading, or do you have any favorite characters you want to talk about?
Only question that I would have, just in writing it, when you put the pieces together as far as completing it, why did you feel like you hadn't really put the period and completed the story? What made you go back and complete the story?
Well, I felt like when I first wrote the story, it was 2008, which is a very, very vulnerable time for me. I had just left out of an abusive relationship and was going through a lot of things then. And so I wrote it and it was very raw. But then when I decided to publish it after years of my best friend and, people that read it over the years, um, when I finally decided to publish it, I thought maybe it was too raw or it was too much.
Mm, mm,
And then I thought, this is going to be my first book that I'm publishing. What if my mom reads it? So when
yeah.
my mom started hearing how raw the first release was, she didn't want to read it, but she supported me. She went to my book launch with me, and so forth. She knows what it's about. She knows about the characters, but she has not actually read it. So I was like, you know what? Mom didn't read the first one. I'm gonna put out a second one, and I'm just gonna let it all out.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so some scenes from the first one were added to the second release, and I'm really excited about it because I feel like now the whole story is out. So yeah, that was the motivation behind that.
I felt like you cleansed your soul and you released some things that needed to be released so you could be free.
Right.
And so I asked you, do you have closure now that you have, and you know what 2 and 3 is? So do you have closure now that you have completed those books as well?
Um, Closure as far as getting my story out, no. I think the project that I'm writing right now will be my closure. It'll be um, the story that is directly from me, about me, and there's no fictional characters. So I think when I finish this project that I'm working on now, it will definitely be closure. But as far as my healing journey, I have closure to that. And that's the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing right now, advocating, writing, working in the public, doing things with you to raise awareness about several issues that are in our community. So I think that would be my final closure as far as getting my story out there. But as far as being a survivor, yeah, I've had that closure. That's what motivates me to do what I do.
So last question, because I don't want to flip it too much before we get to the 24. But what impact do you want it to have to somebody that's walked that same path and may needed something out of that? What do you want them to get ultimately out of reading your books?
Well, this was definitely the reason why I wrote the book, because I wanted to raise awareness to others. And I think for this book, it's a survivor story. And again, it's a survivor story of a sexual assault victim. But there are two other characters in the book who are dealing with an interracial relationship, dealing with sexual identity and preferences. So all of the books are going to be about raising awareness, but also just letting people know that if you are a victim of any kind of traumatic event, you can make it through with perseverance, with the right set of mind, which means investing in your mental health. going from victim to survivor, I say this all the time, starts with your mental health. And so if people understand that and know that if they work on their mental health, if they do not go into a mode of guilt or shame and can admit to themselves that they have been a victim and do the right steps and take the right steps to get where they need to be able to call themselves a survivor, that you can do it. It might take months, it might take years, but you can make it. I've been through a lot in my life, probably more than the average 43-year-old woman, but I've been through a lot and I'm standing here now. I know people who have been through worse. I know people who have been through the same things, and they are living proof that you can get through anything with good mental health, with faith in God, with prayer and a support system. You can get through it. So those are the reasons why I wrote the reality check series, definitely.
Awesome. Salute to your strength and your faith. Definitely.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I want to say thank you to you for being a platform for, I guess I can go ahead and say as an artist is just not about music. It's about, photography. It's about the written word. It's about, just being vocal and being creative with different things in your life. So I just want to say thank you for being a platform for a lot of underground artists, for a lot of indie authors, for self-published authors like myself, but just being a positive male role model and mentor to a lot of people. I talk all the time about how important it is for men to step up and be active in their community, and you have always been very active in your community. Just your job alone is showing the commitment and the passion that you have for helping people. So I just want to thank you for being who you are, supporting people like me, and just being who you are. You're very motivating. You're very inspiring. You are very, very supportive, because you were definitely someone that I can talk to when I was dealing with a moment in my life. And I just want to thank you for that. You're always one of my favorite people to talk to, good or bad. So I just want to say thank you for that. And I'm sure a lot of people are thankful to you as well.
Definitely humble, and I stay focused. We still got work to do. So I mean, each and every day is a brand new opportunity to do that. So we're going to continue on and leave as much of a legacy that we possibly can, so that people can learn how to, if they go through certain situations, they can learn how to deal with it and learn how to cope, and get to being able to just getting back to a normal that they can cope with everything that is going on and still be mentally and spiritually healthy.
Right.
But it's a day by day process. You can't put a time,
Yeah.
on that at all. And I wouldn't dare ever do so. If you're out there and you're listening, you're going through something, don't ever let nobody tell you that, oh, you need to get over it, or why you still ain't gone over it. No. You
Yeah.
trust in God, you trust
One
the
of the worst
process.
things you can say to somebody that's going through something.
Yes, I mean you take your time, one day at a time, one step at a time. You know what I'm saying? Crawl before you walk. You know what I'm saying? And develop that faith and understanding that a better day will come, and it's okay if you have a bad day. It's these days are not perfect days, not on earth. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely
So
not.
just keep stay prayed up, and just stay looking for positive things and surround yourself with positive people and positive vibes, and trust me, you'll get through those tough times. You'll see it, but it's a gradual process.
You definitely will. That's great. You said it perfectly. Take one day at a time. Um, Before we leave, tell us again, what do you have coming up? How can people reach you? And what is your advice to maybe some young men out there who would like to get into the radio industry or music industry?
And first, again, Brave Talk Show debuts April the 25th with Tony Nicole, Danny Nicole, and Crystal Rogers. I'm blessed to be producing, that. Watch the Facebook page, which is James Sherman Thompson on Facebook. Is follow. That's the best place to follow on there. Also, Big Woo Radio on Facebook, the Floetic Poetry Show on Facebook. Also, my Elite Gents podcast. Follow that page, and we're putting out shows on that. We just got to show number 64, and we just keep putting it out there. And this is in the better part of the last 6 months. We put out 64 shows, so
Wow.
I'm gonna keep doing that as well. What I would say Top of the Bottom tour is coming this summer. And I'll give you some exclusives. You heard me talk about 3 artists tonight on this show. Actually, you heard me talk about 4 artists on this show. All 4 of those artists will appear on tour with us in that tour. So be looking for advertisement for that real soon. And my advice to a young person is aspiring to get in the radio, taking it one step at a time. Incorporate your patience because it's a virtue, and understand that there's nothing that's not impossible. If you put God in the forefront of everything that you're doing, you will be in those doors. You will realize all your dreams, and you'll see that everything that you could ever imagine and then some can be possible. If you stay consistent, you stay connected, you stay dedicated and committed, it can happen.
Yes, it can. Thank you so much. I don't have nothing else to say. You ended that very, very, very nicely. So thank you. I appreciate you. And for everyone that is going to be watching this, thank you for watching. Continue to support JT or James Sherman Thompson. You can follow him. You can also check out the different platforms that he is on with Big Woo Radio, Poetic Poetry, so many things that he is doing. But also look out for those 2 exclusive events that are coming up, and have a great day. Bye, James.
All right. Take care. God bless.
Bye.